It feels very humbling to be a part of an organization that is there for the community when they need it. I pretty much followed in my father's footsteps with the desire and the need to serve my country. I learned a lot of technical skills in the military along with discipline and leadership. Skills from the military are easily transferable to what we do on a day-to-day basis at Verizon. I'm Chris Barr and I am Verizon.
We're joined now by Evan Guzman, the head of military programs and veteran affairs for Verizon. Evan helps oversee Verizon's global military strategic recruitment. We're also joined by one of Verizon's veteran employees who helps oversee military recruitment there, Tommy Jones. He served 20 years with the U.S. Army, where he retired as the rank of First Sergeant. Tommy served in Iraq, Bosnia, and Afghanistan. Thank you both for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
So why is Verizon looking to hire military employees?
Quite simply, they're great hires. The skill sets they learn, the characteristics of a service member when they bring it to your business and adapt it. I mean, as a recruiter, I've been charged with looking for great talent. Service members are exceptional talent.
And there's a huge military community at Verizon. More than 10% of the employees are military veterans?
Yeah, our goal has been, let's find out who they are, where are they, and let's just keep recruiting more and use them as ambassadors within the organization. So I would say that we're close to 13,000 hires so far, and we're just looking to surpass that year over year.
Tommy, what do you do now at Verizon?
So I run the recruitment team. My charge is to lead that recruitment team, and we try to be that advocate for the veteran and translate the skills to the recruiter.
How did you get your job at Verizon?
Networking, absolutely. So I went to career fairs. I wasn't as prepared as I thought I would be, and I actually said thank you for your service to a Vietnam veteran, and we started communicating, and he said that he knew someone at Verizon. He introduced me to that person, who happened to be Evan Guzman, and I got an interview, and I sold myself. And I think that was the first time that I had an opportunity to experience what I could give to a company.
And you just left the military 2 years ago. So tell us a little bit about your experience there.
So I did 20 years on active duty in the Army. And like a lot of people, I joined right after high school. Served 20 years, had a tour in Afghanistan, 2 tours in Iraq, Bosnia, and it has made me the man that I am today.
How is it different from the military? What have some of the challenges been in your transition?
Well, I had applied to over 200 jobs when I was transitioning out, and my first thought was, well, you know, people are saying that veterans, they want to hire veterans. What I've realized is they don't know how to hire veterans. I think that's the barrier right there.
What kinds of things do HR people say to you when you give them a military resume?
Yeah, do they have any real corporate experience? Do they have any real experience, like as if the military is not a real job? 85% of military occupational service codes do have a direct civilian counterpart at Verizon. So that tends to ease their tensions a little bit more than usual.
And you face resistance from HR people. You say, here's a great military vet, you should hire them. What do they tell you, and how do you respond?
Well, we battled the education piece at first. My job is to translate and say, you know, he doesn't have his CCNA or his bachelor's degree, or she doesn't have her Microsoft certification, but this is what she did in the military, and it's equivalent. And here's why: she worked in a joint node network, which configured routers and switches. And now that starts opening their eyes.
And Evan, what have you seen out of veterans that you've hired, why they make great employees, and why they make a good fit at Verizon?
Well, they show up on time. That's the first thing. I would even argue that some of the technology that our service members work on are more sophisticated than anything that's out in the private sector. Almost 9 times out of 10, someone who's from the Army gets pushed to the side. But then when you look at the skill sets, they are completely compatible. If anything, they do it in a more stressful environment. But when they come to your business, there's no challenge they're not willing to run to problem solve.
We are having specific challenges in finding talented cell techs in our more rural locations. And so it was just like a no-brainer to think, hey, why don't we reach out to the veterans and transitioning soldiers? We actually brought these soldiers in to a cohort experience. And so it was 5 weeks of targeted training for them before they would then go out into their regions and kind of hit the ground.
Oh, I feel great working for Verizon. It's definitely a challenge. There's always something new, always something that you need to get down and see how it works and be prepared to fix. Oh, I love the job.
Right now, what kinds of job openings do you have available for them?
We've hired a lot of mechanics. We've hired a lot of HVAC technicians. We've hired a lot of accounting and finance positions. So the Verizon is a self-sustaining organization, just like the military. So it really directly relates to each other. We have a cell technician program coming up, which is a program that directly translates veterans. We train them for 5 weeks. We have 30 openings coming up in May. So we're actively recruiting right now to get service members that are in the communications background type of field from all branches of service, or have that type of schooling that are interested. So you could be an infantryman, or you could be a nurse, and you have some type of IT background, and that's a fit for you. We welcome your resume.
And I'll add to that. So when you look at it across Verizon's footprint, we do hire veterans across all areas of the business. We have to. That's the only way we're going to really make a difference. People think of us as retail sales and customer service, but Verizon is so much more than what people think. You know, we have this whole operation behind the scenes that no one hears of. So we'll look for HR, human resources, and public policy, and real estate, even aviation. You know, I mean, there's a lot of hidden opportunities out there that service members just don't know about. But that's why we have this team, and why Verizon is invested in making sure we had a dedicated team, so we can pretty much go out there and say, hey, here's an opportunity that would be a great fit for you.
What do you do to make the veterans feel more comfortable at Verizon?
So we have a veterans advisory group at Verizon. But we send a welcome letter to them. We try to have a mentorship program where we link them up with another veteran. We follow them all the way through. So we pre-hire all the way to post-hire. That's really important to us because we want to make sure that we retain them and that they're happy.
So what advice do you both want to give to military service members watching this that are interested in a job at Verizon?
From my perspective, we built a military talent network. We have www.verizon.com/military jobs. When you go there, there's training there. There's frequently asked questions. We built that from a veteran's perspective to see what they would need from us. So there's two things that you'll see when you first land on the page. The first thing is you'll have a military talent network, or you could search and use a military skills matcher and kind of translate what you did in the military and apply to jobs that come up. So we have the military skills translator, and we have join our military talent network. The reason we find it's really important to join our military talent network is about 3,000 veterans per month were landing on Verizon's homepage, our veteran homepage, but only 2 were applying. So we had to come back and assess and say, well, why are only 200 people applying to our jobs? And we found that they're reading the job descriptions and they're not quite understanding where they fit. So we want them to go on and upload their resume. We ask them a few questions of what interest they are, what location they're interested in, and let us help you try to figure that out.
Great. Evan Guzman and Tommy Jones, thanks so much for joining us and telling us more about opportunities at Verizon.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.